Good morning. Hello, my dear friends and fellow seekers. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello, Carrie. Hi, Linda. Happy Monday to you too, my dear. Oh, I got lots of good rest. How about you? I'm actually, for the first time all month, I'm not rushed because I got up half an hour earlier today. Hey, Jack. Hello, hello. How's the sound? Can you hear the beautiful music? Just had to go with this soundtrack today because the Koshi bells remind me of the twinkles in the tree, or the wind chimes. They're not Koshis, sorry. Sound is good. Good morning, good afternoon. How you guys doing? How's everybody? How are you feeling? There's our other Linda. Good morning, Linda. Hello, Angela. Good morning to you. Welcome if this is anybody's first time. If it is, please say hello in chat. Tell us where you're from and what beverage you're drinking this morning. Mine is always water. Hey, Sherry. Good morning to you. Good morning and all beautiful souls, says Linda. I love that. Hey, Trish. Boise, Idaho. Bergamot tea. Ooh, I don't know what bergamot tea is, but the word just sounds incredibly soothing and like you would just sip it as long as you can. It sounds wonderful. Hey, Angela says, my first time. Hi, everyone. I'm from Ontario, Canada. Oh, wonderful. You're just north of my old stomping grounds, Rochester, New York. Welcome. Welcome to all the new people. My name's Greg Phillips. I'm a wayshower and a channel, and I'm here to guide you into the depths of your heart so that you can experience meaningful transformation. And I do that in a variety of ways. Energy readings, intuitive guidance, channeled messages, something that we call sacred energy journeys, which is like a guided visualization, but we literally go places energetically, which are so fun. And then today, what I'm doing is channeling messages from the Council of Seven. They're a group of beautiful, lighthearted, and very loving and wise beings. They're a collective of beings who have come to share with us wisdom for our spiritual growth. And they, in particular, the seven means that they represent seven distinct energies that are essential for our evolution, our spiritual evolution as humans. Welcome, welcome. Sherry says water, coffee, and tea are all happening simultaneously this morning. I've been up for hours. My goodness gracious. Awesome. How's everybody feeling? Anybody else want to say hi if you're new? We have a really cool message today. I had something happen yesterday that when I talked to the council about it, they said, oh, yes, this is why this is happening, and we have much to say about it. So I will tell you guys what happened, and then we'll check in with them about it shortly. I don't know, I just cut my nails this morning, and one of them feels like I didn't do a great job. Do you ever have that feeling? You're like, oh, darn, I missed a spot. It's so funny. Sherry says, I'm feeling better. I was weepy and uncertain this morning. Oh, dear heart. Yes. Weepy and uncertain. Life is full of uncertainty, isn't it? Yes. Uncertain why? You don't know why you are uncertain? Is that what you're saying, Sherry? Yeah, tell me about it. You know, I think it's an important part of the spiritual journey to make friends with uncertainty. to make friends with the unknown. It has been true in my life experience. And there's two really cool things that I try to remember, don't always remember, about uncertainty. And that is, the first is, uncertainty actually serves us really powerfully to help us remember to stay in the moment. So that's the biggest thing that I've learned about making peace with uncertainty. And the other is that I'm borrowing this from Bashar. He says, the only thing that you're going to discover in the unknown is more of yourself. So why do we get so scared of uncertainty? Why do we get so scared of the unknown when all we're ever going to discover is more of us, more of who we are? So, Sherry says, uncertain why I was weepy, a dread or something, but it's shifting. Well, if you actually shed some tears, I love the concept of that when you cry, you're literally, energetically, and physically releasing the toxins associated with an old belief. So, yes, something is indeed shifting. Good morning, Madeline. Good to see you. Yesterday, Linda awoke miserable and cranky. I was a little bit that way this weekend too, Linda. Yes, releasing, indeed. Who is Bashar? I've heard you mention them in previous sessions. So, Bashar is a being that a gentleman named Daryl Anka channels and has been channeling for about 40 years. The best that I know is Bashar is a futuristic, he's not futuristic, he is he's a being from the future, a multidimensional being, not multidimensional, but he's like we're related. Humans in his society are related, and he's a first contact specialist. So what he does is he makes psychic energetic connections with individuals who then channel him, and he talks about first contact, meaning the first time we will get to meet aliens. And apparently, that even though he's from the future, we're related evolutionarily. Yeah, he's just, I love Bashar and his wisdom. It's very simple, it's very straightforward. He talks a lot about old beliefs, he talks a lot about just stuff that is so practical and simple to me that it just makes a lot of sense. He talks about manifestation and a whole bunch of different things. So the first one, Madeline, but I believe there might be either an extra N or an extra K, but just look up Bashar, B-A-S-H-A-R, Bashar.org. Good morning, April. Hello. Hopped in just in time. I was watching documentary on Bashar yesterday. Yeah. He actually, he did a movie. He made a movie because he was originally from the film industry before he started channeling. And he made a movie, I think it was, maybe it's the one you saw, April, where they actually hooked him up to brainwave machines. And they saw that when he went into the channeling state, he actually shifted what they call the set point, that it actually was of a much higher frequency. Because normally once we reach a certain age developmentally, the frequency of our mental set point locks in place. And unless, of course, you meditate or do other things that helps expand your consciousness. But when he goes into a channeling state, he actually, the frequency of his set point actually raises and changes. And the set point, I guess scientifically, I'm not big on science. I mean, I love science, but I don't know a lot about it. But I think what I understand from this is that the set point determines what we're able to perceive. And that once that's locked in, that's like where it is. But I think that as we're shifting and growing, and the more we meditate and do other spiritual things, I do think for spiritual seekers that the set point actually does shift. Certainly feels that way in my life. He is very wise and so helpful. Yes, indeed. Catherine says, I think you'd like Gary Temple Bodley and his channeling of Joshua also. Oh, maybe. Never heard of him. Madeline is very interested. Madeline, I would look at his excitement formula, Bashar's excitement formula. It is, quite honestly, the simplest and most profound formula for living that I have ever heard or read. And in fact, the Mojo game that the council has given us, the Moments of Joy game that the council has given us, is vibrationally quite similar to Bashar's excitement formula. It very much serves the same purpose but from a different angle. So I love Bashar's excitement formula. You thought of that too, Carrie. See, you are totally tapped in. Excitement formula. It's on his page, bashar.org. I can't post links because the chatbot will automatically remove them. But anyways, yes, indeed. I would say, like, I started my introduction to channeling came when I first read a book from Abraham Hicks. And then eventually, because I was in LA at the time and they came to LA frequently, I eventually started going to their workshops. And I actually was in the hot seat a few times with them, if anybody knows Abraham Hicks. So I asked quite a number of questions over the years. And then I was introduced to Dr. Peebles, who was channeled locally by a friend, somebody who became a friend. Which Abraham book? Ask and It Is Given. That was the very first one that I was introduced to. And then I studied Abraham's stuff for many, many years and listened. I just listened intently, lots of CDs, and watched like tons of videos online and whatnot. And I believe that like Bashar for me is the evolution from what I was learning from Abraham, even though I still absolutely love Abraham. But for me, my spiritual growth path, finding and discovering Bashar feels like the next stepping stone to my development. And I started watching and hearing Bashar, I think either before or right around the time that the council started to come to me. So it's very interesting. And of course, Bashar is different. He's an actual being from the future who is being channeled by Daryl. Abraham is a collective of teachers. So, and it's different for everybody. I mean, Paul Selig has the guides. They're I don't know who they consider themselves. Lee Harris Energy. Lee Harris has the Z's, which is a collective of guides as well. So it's like, who knows? It's all source. It's all beautiful. Hi Trish. I went on a cruise with Hicks as a non-believer. Changed my whole life. Wow, how did you get on a cruise as a non-believer? I mean, I guess you could, just out of curiosity. That's so cool, Trish. I have always wanted to go on an Abraham Hicks cruise. That has been a dream of mine. Anyways, we're 14 minutes in, and I do have a work meeting in 45 minutes. So, welcome to everybody. Oh, a friend gifted it. How sweet of them. That's so cool. And now look at you. Lovely. So guys, friends, fellow seekers, today's topic is really interesting. It has a slight story with it. So yesterday, I took myself out on a little excursion. I like to do this at least once a week if I feel up to it. And I walked a mile down to Panera Bread. Now, anyone who knows Panera, it is quite delicious food. And I just like to sit in the environment and people watch and jam to the music because they also have really good music playing and just enjoy the yummies. So I'm sitting enjoying my meal, and by enjoying, I was relishing every single bite. Just every single bite, I was like, oh my God, yum. So I was in a really high vibration state because I was just absolutely enjoying my meal, and I had a great walk. And yes, Pam Gregory. She goes deep and does great interviews indeed. It was a 10 on the Mojo. Absolutely, Carrie. My meal was an absolute 10. Anyways, about 2 tables over, there was a young family with a young boy. And I don't know how old he was. I didn't turn to look at them a lot, but I just could feel and hear them a lot. And for all I knew, he was in the terrible twos. Does everybody know what the terrible twos is? That time when a kid is just practicing, learning, setting limits and saying no a hell of a lot. So this young boy, was just in the nose. No. Crying, fake crying. I could tell it was fake crying. And these parents were lovely. They were just letting him be. And it's funny because in his nose, I could feel that me, my, I want it, mine, that whole just interesting energy of that, right? And I thought, oh, isn't this fascinating? The terrible twos is kind of like what the physical mind does. The physical mind is almost like that part of ourselves that never grew up from the terrible twos, where it's always concerned about me, mine, no, limits, limitations, worries, concerns. Am I going to get mine? Blah, 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 right? But then the higher mind is like saying yes instead of saying no. It's saying yes to everything. So I talked to the council and they said, this is a wonderful topic and how it relates to is-ness. So we're going to hear from them shortly about this. So the topic today is how is-ness says yes to everything. A terrible two age, indeed. In the nose. No, I mean in the no. Like no. Like, can you relate to how your mind is sometimes that way, right? How it looks at something is like, no, no, I don't want that. I don't like it. I know. And you see, I'm making a funny face too, because I'm exaggerating it, right? No, this isn't right. This is wrong. This shouldn't be this way. No, I want it different. This is mine, not yours. Isn't it hilarious? In the nose. It's also very nasally. It's just funny. In the nose. Yeah. So anyways, this is a really powerful insight. That's you right now, Carrie. You need to do voiceovers. I am doing a voiceover. Not really. I'm doing a voice through. Okay. So that's the story. And I'm going to let the council take it from here. So for anyone who's brand new, welcome. I'm Greg Phillips. We are doing Coffee with the Council. Guys, can you believe it? We only have a week and a half left this month. We've already been at it for 2.5. Wait a minute. 2.5 weeks. Super, super cool. Hey, Mira, good to see you, sweetheart. Alrighty, let's check in with the council and see what they have to say. Dear guides and councils. Hello and greetings, our dear friends. We greet you from the energetic realms where we love, celebrate, and honor every single time your mind says no and every single time your heart says yes. And indeed, Greg's observation of that young child yesterday very much lends into an aspect or a quality or an essence of is-ness. For those that are brand new, we have been speaking with those in attendance these last 2+ weeks regarding is-ness, the state of being that we call is-ness. And in the recent days, we have been discussing various essences and qualities, a much more of a deep dive into is-ness. The first week or so, we were exploring an introduction to it. Today, the topic is how is-ness says yes to everything. Now, Greg is very astute at recognizing that the terrible twos, as you call it, in your young toddlers, is very much how your physical third dimensional mind functions. Not necessarily on a daily basis, but it certainly has a way of getting into all of the no's and the limits and the restrictions. And it is much more inclined on a regular basis to see where the limitations are rather than where the possibilities are. Now, that does not mean that your physical mind, the one that lives in your brain and your body, it does not mean that that physical mind is not capable of perceiving the greater possibilities and capable of perceiving past limitations, but it is not necessarily designed that way. And we say this because when you think about it, it is important for the brain, or for the mind, the physical mind, to understand lines and boundaries. Let's say, for example, you are working on a particular creative project or a particular work project, or perhaps you are working on a task around the house. Well, you need to be able to recognize your own limitations and boundaries. If, for example, you are doing a cleaning project at the home or a repair project, you may need to pay attention to when you're hungry, when you need to stop and take a break, when you have reached a certain point in the project which needs to be continued the next day or the next week, depending on the project. You need to be able to recognize limitations in order to have a healthy existence. And indeed, the mind is quite good at this, and it is there to help guide you as well as your intuition. However, when the mind's inclination to find limitations, to say no towards things that are disliked and displeased and not wanted, this does not exactly bring serenity, does it? It does not bring that sense of calm, that sense of peace, the sense of fulfillment, connectivity, etc. You are not in synchronicity when you are saying no to things in life. However, the higher mind, which is in Is-ness, and you, when you are living in Is-ness or from Is-ness, the higher mind says yes to everything. Is-ness says yes to everything. Now, we must clarify what we mean by yes. For you may be sitting there and thinking, well, I see certain things happening in the world that I think are wrong or unjust or unfair, or I just don't plain like them. How can I say yes to that? We do not mean yes as in yes, I accept or allow that to, well, actually, we do mean that. We don't mean yes as in I agree with this. We mean yes as in I acknowledge your right to exist. Notice the subtle difference. Yes is a truly deep form of allowing, where you are saying, let's take, for example, something that is happening in your life. Let us see what is a good example. You have suddenly received news of a medical nature that you are not pleased with. Or perhaps you have a medical condition or a physical condition that you are not pleased with. Let's keep it at that. In this particular instance, when you first heard word of it, or when you are seeing it as you wake, feeling it, or noticing it as you wake up in the morning, you may indeed rail against it. You may push against it. You may say, no, not this again. I can't stand this. No, I do not want this. This is not what I asked for. Why am I going through this? Etc. and etc. It is absolutely vital, our dear friends, we invite and encourage you to recognize when you're in these moments of pushing against what is. These are the terrible twos. These are the no's. You are saying no to this experience. You are saying no to what you are witnessing. You are saying no to what you are hearing and seeing. Indeed, Greg has one currently in his life where his beautiful, beloved laptop fan will occasionally start whirring up in a much louder decibel level and noise level than it is necessarily supposed to. And for absolutely no reason, it does. Well, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. There, of course, is a reason, spiritually speaking, energetically speaking, but mechanically there is a small issue with his laptop fan, but it is nothing critical at the moment. Anyways, it will often set him into a position where he is pushing against it. No, don't do this again. It's so loud. It's so annoying. I don't want this. I don't want this. And the way in which he tends to resolve this situation is simply by allowing it to be. For it is indeed being in this very moment. There is nothing he can physically do to stop it from whirring and humming and making loud noises. He simply needs to relax his own vibration and not push against what is. So you see, yes is a form, you can think of it as the beginning of saying yes to everything is to start by not pushing against anything. And once you can reach that point of not pushing against anything, in other words, not looking at something and immediately invalidating its existence. For who are you to invalidate the existence of something that actually does exist in this moment? We, as individuals on planet Earth, you do not have the right to actually remove someone's existence, nor do you have the power to remove someone's existence. It exists for a reason. It exists to serve a beneficial purpose. And so when you begin to stop pushing against things that are and begin to say, yes, I see you. Hello, you tip your hat, as we said last week. Hello, I see you. Horrible feeling in my shoulder. Hello, I see you. A morning headache. Yes, indeed, I see, I recognize you. Yeah, I'm not happy that you're here. You do not need to be happy or agree with it, dear friends. We just invite you to not push against it. Honor it, respect it, embrace it. You do not have to love it. You do not have to even like it. You do not even have to make friends with it. However, making friends and making peace with those things that you previously pushed against is a very huge step in your spiritual growth. However, you can just simply say, nod, hello, yes, indeed, I see you. Yes, I see you. Yes, I see you. Yes, I see you. And eventually, as you begin to see certain things and see and allow their existence and stop pushing against them, you will suddenly realize that maybe they weren't that important for you to pay attention to anyways, and you will begin to find that there are other more exciting, more interesting, more joy-filled things to pay your attention to. For indeed, you always have the choice of what you wish to focus on, of where you wish to pay your attention to. So indeed, dear friends, we will leave it at this, for there is probably more to say down the road, but indeed, Is-ness says yes to everything. We thank you for your presence here today. We are always so happy and overjoyed to meet with you here in the physical, to co-create together, to converse, and to celebrate each and every single experience that you have. For indeed, we say yes to everything that is you. And by everything that is you, we mean everything that is within your experience. For everything that is within your experience is you. And so we love you. We honor you, we celebrate you, and for today, we bid you good day. Hello. Is-ness doesn't equal yes-ness. Yes-ness is a quality of business, is how I would say it, Catherine. You could use this. You could use this as kind of a way to track whether you're in is-ness, perhaps. This is sort of the idea that I'm getting right now. So if you're finding yourself pushing against things in life, you're not in is-ness. Because is-ness allows all things and says yes to everything. When you find yourself looking at something and it may be something you don't like, but you're not reacting, you're not pushing against it, and you might mentally just think for a moment, I don't really like that, but yeah, it exists, it is. Yes, I see you. Yes, I see you. The yes isn't an agreement. The yes is simply an acknowledgement. I see you. I see you, laptop fan. I see you, hurting shoulder. I see you, child who is he wasn't screaming, but child who is just on a rampage of saying no, right? I see you. I see you. Yes, I see you. Oh, you're welcome, Carrie. Madeline says, wow. What was so wow, Madeline? Really helpful. Love that, says Jack. Railing against what is. You know how it feels, do you not, my friends? Tap into it. The next time you find yourself pushing against something, stop for a moment, see how it feels. It is a lower vibration, it's a lower frequency, it's the mind worrying, it's the mind regretting, it's all the wasness and the not yetness that we were talking about the very first week of Coffee with the Council. It's not is-ness. You're pushing against, you're railing against it. You're not saying yes. And again, remember, be gentle and loving and kind with yourself. Do not pile more judgment on when you find yourself in these moments of pushing against, of railing against. It's part of our experience. Even saying yes to our own pushing against is super, super cool, super important, and a huge step in spiritual growth. To be in the pushing against and say, yes, I see me pushing against. I see me pushing against. Look, there I go again. Yes, I see me pushing against things, railing against what is. I see it. I'm not going to judge it. I'm not going to criticize it. I'm not going to get angry over it. I might, but when we find that sweet spot where we just see it and acknowledge it and say yes to it, it begins to have less power over us. And we remember that we have the power of choice. That is where all of our power lies, is in that power of choice. It's been a huge message from the council and from me lately. Let's see what you guys are saying. April says, acknowledge what it is. It's already here, so release the resistance to it. Exactly. And Bashar says insistence equals resistance. So if you can catch yourself in those times when you're railing against and pushing against something, and you can feel that you are insisting that it is different, you're just in resistance. And just recognize it. Ah, yes, I see you, insistence. Aren't you wonderful? I appreciate you're there because you're showing me something. There is a beneficial outcome possible in every single thing. But when we're pushing against, when we're railing against, when we're insisting, we are not in the state of being or even frequency. We're not in a vibrational frequency. We're not at the level of is-ness. We're not at the level of saying yes to things. It's the minute we begin to say yes, we start to slip back into our is-ness. We start to flow and smooth and ooze back into our is-ness. And from there, we can perceive beneficial outcomes. And that is what every experience is about. Getting us from the guts and the rawness of that experience to a place where we can perceive, or at least know, that there are beneficial outcomes to this experience. We don't have to know what those beneficial outcomes are, but if we can believe and trust that there are beneficial outcomes to that, wow, opens up a whole new door to serenity, peace of mind, and your whole spiritual growth. It's really, really cool. Linda says, well, that changes my perspective on how to deal with my grumpy mood, should I ever have them again. Yes, dear, exactly. LOL. Trish says, I've been pushing all week. This was good info. Thank you, Council. And they thank and appreciate you for your pushing. See, do you ever notice how the council talks about different ways they celebrate us? They're celebrating everything because from their perspective, it's all beneficial. It's all beautiful. It's all is-ness. It's all yes. Like, they're such a good example in that regard. Catherine says, here's where I get caught a little. Okay, so if you desire something, you just yes your way through the things you feel no to move towards it? Not exactly. Remember that in this example, the way the council is using yes is, let me see. It's not agreement, right? You're not agreeing, you're allowing something to be. You're saying yes to its right to exist. And that may be difficult at first if it's something that you really don't want to exist. And yet it wouldn't exist. It wouldn't actually be if it weren't, I mean, how do I say this? It exists, therefore it must be here. So us pushing against what is pushing against life itself. It's pushing against, it's railing against what is. And every time we do that, we're removing the opportunity to find out why that's there for us. Particularly our insistence and our resistance is the most powerful tool for shifting our perspective. To say yes, the best example is like when we're pushing against something and we stop and we go, yes, I see you anger. I see you insistence. I see you displeasure. I see you. Yes, I see you. So if you desire something, that's a little bit different. That's, it depends on what you're referring to, Catherine. If you're desiring something to be different, that could be both a high vibration experience if you're in the feelings of it, and it can also be a low vibration experience in terms of if you're in insistence with it. Let me see if does that help clarify, Catherine, at all? Desire is, I'm not exactly sure what you're implying by desire, so I don't want to misread that. If you resist, it will persist. Hey, Hannah, good to see you, sweetheart. Oh my God, you must be really up early. What time is it there? Holy crow. Carrie says, yes, I'm going that right now, Greg, but thank you for the message. Okay, let it be what it is. April, reframe the explanation of events so you don't weaponize it against yourself. Yeah, indeed. That is another. The is-ness that truly is. Is there some background noise? What's that, Faz? Yes, exactly. There is always... You guys are typing a lot. I love it. It's hard to keep up with chat sometimes. There is always a beneficial outcome. And it is our purpose to look for it. It's part of our purpose. It is our gift, if you will, the opportunity to look for it. Carrie says, oh my goodness, Greg, this is really hitting home for me. This is so helpful, says Jack, especially regarding physical or mental pain. Yeah, physical and mental pain can often be some of the most difficult experiences to have, right? But it doesn't make it better by pushing against it. It never makes it better because you're insisting on it being different than it is. If your knee hurts, it hurts. It might be trying to give you a message. The body has such a deeper understanding of is-ness than our mind does because the body just is. The body is so intimately connected with our pure essential sacred energy in the now. The body's in the now. The body's not in the past or the future. The body's in the now. And right now it's saying, your knee hurts. Slow down. Have a rest. Stretch. Stop pushing when you walk. Stop pushing in life. Whatever the message is. Acknowledge, then allow. Your acknowledgement, V, is a form of allowing. But yes, acknowledge, then allow. I think that's a nice way to summarize what the council's saying, because the way they're using yes is as an acknowledgement, not as an agreement. You're not lining up with what's happening. You're not in agreement with it, but you're not pushing against it. You're saying, yes, I see you and I allow you to exist. And like for me, if you ever were to talk to me personally and start talking about what's going on in the world, I'd be like, I don't know. I don't watch the news. I don't listen to what people say about things. I'm not tracking the politics. I'm not tracking a whole bunch of stuff. Why? Because it's not where I'm living from. Because I know, even, I'm not going to get into any of those conversations here, but I will just broadly say that I know, even in terms of what is happening on a global scale, I know there's a beneficial outcome. It is within my belief system that there's always a beneficial outcome. So I don't worry about any of that stuff. I don't push against it. I don't like watching the news, so I don't. And I just live in my own happy little bubble. And it's far more important to me that I be happy on a daily basis, or at least feel a little bit better than I did yesterday, than it is that I stay informed about what's going on in the world, because it's my life that I'm creating. And what's more important to me is what's going on in my life and the life of the people that I love and care about. I do care about that as well. Anyways, that is my broad statement about that. But that's why you see me as more of a, except when I have those hard days, and you saw me have a hard day last week. But that's because I'm just being with me. 1:06 a.m., very early morning. Hannah, it's so good to see you, dear. Let's see what else saying. April says, I think this leading us to trust. I agree, April. It is a lot about trust. The hard part for us is releasing control and trusting. It's a beautiful saying. I'm trying to make sure I can see it all. Trusting that all of it is working towards our highest good. Absolutely. Read what April wrote, everybody. This is beautiful. It's a journey in trusting the unfolding and trusting the synchronicity of life, trusting the way life works, trusting the actual energetic mechanics of life. Not from the way we see them, but the way that they actually are unfolding, to use April's word. I love the word unfolding. I use it all the time. We want all the answers, the roadmap before we take the first steps. Universe is like, slow your roll. We got this. And you're laughing. I love that. Right now, your mammogram test didn't come back the way you wanted. That's another great example. Yes. Oh, Carrie? Yeah, you had your mammogram test the other day. Oh, sweetheart. Yeah. Hannah's saying, Linda, my 5-year-old. Oh, okay, you guys are talking. April gives up on micromanaging the universe. Woo! Wow, what a load off your shoulders, huh, April? You don't even have to just switch to gratitude, Carrie. If you're upset about that experience, be upset. Don't just gloss it over and shift into gratitude if it's not where you're at. You might be at both. You might be sad at this news and grateful that you're alive. But say yes to the sad. Yes, sadness, I see you. Yes, disappointment, I see you. Have you ever considered that when you're not feeling well, or when you're unhappy about something, that's just life saying, we just want you to see this. There's no big lesson or big story or big whatever. It might just simply be the practice of recognizing and acknowledging and allowing, as V said earlier. Yes, I see you. Think about it. On a deep level, so many of us just want to be seen for who we really are, right? And when somebody in our life does, we love them implicitly, don't we? Yes, I see you. So every little life experience wants the same. It just wants us to see it. And then when you've seen it and you no longer are railing or pushing against it, you can let it go. I see you. Yes, I see you, bad mammogram result. It's not even bad. It just is. I see you, mammogram result. It doesn't mean it will stay that way. But if you insist on trying to change it, if you push against it, then the next mammogram result will probably be the same or worse because you're lining up with the lower vibration there. But if you're like, I see you, sadness over this, disappointment over this result. I see you, bad knee. I see you and I feel sad and upset and discouraged. Yes, I see you, discouragement. I see you. It's not even a life lesson. Don't make it so big and grandiose. It just is. It just is. The life lesson sounds like it was scheduled to occur in a certain... No, it just is. It just is, my friends. We are the ones who assign meaning and significance to things. This is why this is why on occasion I'll comment about the use of words like lesson or test or whatever. And I'm not trying to push against the way you see it. That's all good and great. But I'm just wanting to point out, I'm just here to observe. I'm just here to be a messenger. Watch what you say. Watch the vibration behind it. Watch the significance you put into something. A lot of times things in life just are. And Bashar often reminds me in his videos where he says that nothing in life has any inherent meaning. It is all naturally neutral. It is us that assigns the meaning and significance. And if we're assigning this dramatic over glorified or what exorbitant meaning to it. Like, whoa, it just is. Like, this is the beauty of this is-ness practice, of just coming back to what is. Oh, the control thing again. Indeed. V says, I love that, Greg. Where'd you say that? I am just being with me. I love that. Paraphrasing, V. I am just being with me. All the parts of me. Carrie says, an opportunity for me to allow it and know that I am divinely protected and everything works out for my highest and greatest goods. Absolutely. Highest and greatest goodest? Goodest. We've coined a new word, goodest. I'm going to orientate to my highest and greatest goodest. I love that. Yes, I see you, resistance, right? Worst thing to do is to be in resistance and then resist the resistance. No, yes, I see you, resistance. Yes, I see you, insistence. Yes, I see you, annoyance with whatever. Yes, I see you. Yes, I see you. And think about it. The more we start saying yes, even to the things that we don't want or don't like, the easier it will be to say yes to the things that we do. The easier it'll be to recognize those things that we will want to enjoy when we say yes to them, right? And we're just saying yes to everything. This is so beautiful. I love this. All right, my friends, I have to prep for my 9:30 a.m. work meeting. This was lovely as always. I so appreciate all of you guys being with us today, us meaning me and the council. Carrie says, are not only see it, but say, okay, I see you, and listen to what you have to say. Yeah, indeed. Sometimes to just be with what is what is supposed to be. It's hard when you have to use when you go to use a lot of words like be and is. They mush together in funny ways. Yeah, you're welcome, Carrie. And Jack, thank you indeed. And yes, thank you, Council, for sharing your love and your wisdom and celebrating each and everything that we experienced today. All right, my friends, I will see you all tomorrow, whoever's going to be here. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for being part of our beautiful community. If you would like to be more connected with us, we have two beautiful groups on Insight Timer. One is called our Happy Little Bubble. That is just general stuff that I share on occasion, or notices about the different lives I'm doing and whatnot, or tracks that I have coming out. But we have a group specifically for Coffee with the Council. So if you wish to share, and that's for you guys, for sharing with each other. So you feel free to join that. It is called Coffee with the Council. Also, we are here. Coffee with the Council is every weekday through April. I don't know what the May schedule is going to be like, but I'm pretty sure we're going to continue this in some fashion. And if this touched your heart, filled you, inspired you, moved you, if you found value in this session today and you're brand new or you haven't followed me yet, please, I invite you to follow me. I welcome you to follow me. We just passed 888 followers, which is super, super cool. I love repeating numbers, and we would love to have you along board. Also, if you have any interest in connecting with me off of Insight Timer, go check out my teacher profile and look at my teacher link. There are things that I do off of Insight Timer that are quite fun and enjoyable as well. So I will leave you. I will, as the council says, I will bid you adieu, my friends. I must go prep for this meeting. Oh, appreciate you too, V. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, great message today, Linda says, and conversation to all. Yeah, one of my favorite things about these lives is how involved you guys are with the conversation, with asking questions, with exploring these concepts with me and with the council. It is just really, it's so fulfilling and so beautiful. 894 now. Really, Faz? Wow. You mean we're almost at 900? That is so cool. I hope to reach 1,000 by June 1st. That'll be a huge milestone for me. You're welcome, Angela. It's so nice to have you here. Madeline just wanted to listen to the conversation because whenever I type, I feel I miss some of it. That can happen, Madeline. It's much easier when we can speak, but we don't have that feature yet here in the lives. Thank you. It's just a regular Monday morning meeting to discuss work, which is with good people. So it's fun, but thank you for your good luck wishes. All right, my friends, I am off and away. Hannah, it's so good to see you. Hope you get some rest or get some whatever, playtime or whatever. All right, sending you off. Have a blessed day. We'll see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.